Hey guys, thanks for joining me. And if you like what you see, please subscribe.
Hello, people. This is my response to your comments on the video I posted called Best 8 Budget Fixed Blades for Under $100 or Less. This is them. I posted that video, and man, it got a lot of views and a lot of comments. And I thought that there were some things in there that were really good comments that everyone should hear. So I'm posting this video, and then there's some things in there I just would like to respond to defend myself or whatever. So we're going to go through it. This isn't a confrontational video at all, despite what my cover photo might say. But we'll see. Some of it is. So Tarava SPQR8700 says Tarava is from Finland. I also recommend Joker knives made in Spain. Best quality for the price. Greetings and blessings from Romania. Man, I have someone watching my channel in Romania. That is pretty darn awesome. Like YouTube is a crazy thing, but the fact that someone watched my video and commented first, thank you very much for being first, from Romania is pretty amazing. Like I live in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, and I'm making connections to people in Romania, so that's awesome. Joker knives. So that was I asked in the video, what do you recommend? What did I not include on this? Joker knives came up over and over and over again. Please, could you leave a comment down below and let me know which is your favorite Joker knife, because I've been looking at them. Some of the steels are questionable, but I see some in 14C 28N, and that is my favorite steel ever, so I will definitely get one of those. But let me know what Joker you recommend. Also, fun fact about me, I grew up in Spain until I was 8, so the fact that I never owned a Joker is kind of a sin. So yeah, please, I'm gonna buy a Joker. Let me know which one I should buy. All right, so and then Ryan S. Chiefel BN 8264 said a Mora Companion is also a great budget starter knife. It is, and I know that. And I think when I was going to buy the Robust, it was like $8, and the Robust was $15. And I went with a Robust, and it just seems a little bit more capable. But yes, the Companion seems like a great starter knife. RCE says 2553 DKS and Bush Baby are my two favorites. Bush Baby #1. Yes, so he said DKS. I think what he meant was Dutch Bushcraft Boys. So DBS is what I'm going to assume. And yeah, this is a phenomenal knife. $95. I think later on I have some comments about how you just can't find them making this model for $95 anymore. But I will say I just got an Patriot for $95 on their Redwall, and $91 on their Redwall, and I had to pay extra for a sheath. But you still can get LT Wright knives for under $100 if you become a member of their pot house. So go over there, spend $20. For $20 a year, you become a member, and you can get deals like that. They do seem to come up every year. I was pleasantly so Gary Roche Q4J said, I was pleasantly surprised to see the Holtafort GK Heavy Duty as the first knife in your video, known as being incredibly tough. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this or the Robust should really be in everyone's tool chest / truck bed or whatever. These things just take a beating, and you can do whatever you want. I mean, this impregnated, or this, whatever this plastic is with a sheath, this thing is super, super tough. And this is just a carbon steel, but it works really, really well. And I've beaten the crap out of it, and no rust at all, really, to say, even though it's carbon steel. Yeah, I mean, what is this? It's a $12 knife or something, whatever I said in the video originally. Like, it's absolutely, wait, I still have my price list right over here. $13. Yeah, it's incredible. So, man time, good stuff. Concise bushcraft knife recommendations for every budget. I'm getting a BPS before the secret is out. Yeah, BPS have so many good knives. Their bushcrafter is also a really good knife. I had someone else later on comment about how, I have two here. I have one which is the Dutch bushcraft knives, one right here, and this is a great deal and comes with a fire steel and a great sheath. And then this little Finlight Puka. Uh, it's just how much is this Finlight is $24. There's no excuse not to get one. It's so cool. And especially if you have kids. I mean, DBS knife seems like the way to go besides Morocniv or Morocnov. And later on, I'm going to get into my pronunciation of that name. So, because people like to comment about why I say it that way. And the reason why I say it that way is because it is the correct, authentic way of saying it. So let's see. I'm going to skip that comment. We've already kind of covered that. Yeah. All right. So this is a kind of a longer comment, but Bolin JD says, great video. I think any small LT right knife are solid valued at around 100. Yeah, absolutely. No brainer. Like American made small bushcraft knife by LT is going to be phenomenal. And I had another one too. I have a Frontier First as well. And yeah, I almost always go with the double red canvas. And I got mountain scales here in little pin, but this was also just under $100. Yeah, absolutely. Any small LT right knife is good for under $100. You're not going to be sad. He has a Frontier Valley. This is a Frontier First. For 109 A2 tool steel. This is A2. 3-inch blade, good 4-finger grip on a 4-inch handle. This one is just a little bit shorter, so I put this little lanyard on here, but pretty cool. I'm going to skip a little bit here, and he says, Essie under 100 is a solid mark. I've never tried Essie. And he says, Zulu is legendary for a reason. Again, looked at their stuff, and I've just been interested in other stuff. If someone has an Essie or an Azula, please send it to me. I don't know if I can necessarily buy one right now because I'm trying to use my money more wisely. That doesn't mean very wisely at all, but I'm trying to, and I don't think I have a reason to get one of those given all the other knives I have. Pretty much Mora is a winner. Yeah, I agree in general. Pretty much everything is a winner there. He got some kids some 511s. They're safe, and yeah, they're bright colors. Exactly. I think that the 511s is the companion. I'm sorry if I'm wrong about that, but yeah, I think they're great. Buck under 100 is great. I don't know. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of Buck. I'm not sold on Buck. And again, I don't have really any experience with them. And a lot of good stuff out of Joker, again, especially the Comparo. I was looking at the Comparo. It looks amazing. I might actually buy that one. Richard Henry 1969 says, I recommend the BPS Adventurer over the Bushcrafter. The Adventurer is their best design. I looked at it. It looks really cool. I'm not going to get another BPS until I need to, but great. Other people should check that out. The Outdoor Analyst, Matt, becoming a very good friend of mine. Great channel. Check him out. Sweet list. I need to try waxed wing. No, he said waxed works. It's waxed wing. Haven't found them in stock yet. Yeah, he drops every Friday, and right now he's working up to the Lehigh Valley Knife Show, so he's not dropping everything that he's making. If you're in Pennsylvania, go to the Lehigh Valley Knife Show. I believe it's this weekend even. And if not, he'll have regular stuff. Anything he doesn't sell, he's going to drop next Friday probably. So check that out. Wax wing, this guy right here. And this was the one knife that was actually $120, but American made, Nitro V, flat grind, great little 4-finger grip. Like this thing is like a pocket scalpel. Amazing. I also have the Aspen. Any of his knives, yeah, get one. They're great. So Rhine Juice says, Mora Kanivin. Good work. So he's commenting on how I said Morocniv. I looked up actual people from Sweden saying this word, and they all say Morocniv, and they say it with the F sound at the end, but it's Morocniv. And so I say Morocniv, but he's saying Morocnivin, Mora Kanivin is what he's saying the pronunciation is. Listen, people, do you have like other things to do in your life? Okay, look, it says it right there on the handle. It's not two words, it's one word. I looked up how people pronounce it. I'm trying to do my best. Um, I, yeah, yeah. All right, moving on. So someone else said T Mile 10 says solid budget list. Thanks, buddy. Jera Butas 48 says nice post. I think there are some good fixed blades from Kaiser, Harpoon, Begletter that are super high value in 3V. I looked at the Harpoon. It actually looks like a really interesting knife. It looks like, honestly, the Harpoon looks like a harpoon. And for some reason, I've always had a knife that looks like a harpoon when I snowboard. I snowboard in the winter. I'm in Pennsylvania. I love the mountains. And I love having a harpoon knife when I snowboard. I don't know why. It's just been a tradition. And I'm looking at it thinking, oh, yeah, that's my next snowboarding knife. I'm crazy, dude. Mariner Hard 8447. The Schnitzel Try, a great design, and 14C28N steel, which is probably the best you're going to get in a full size under $100. Yeah, 14C28N is the best budget steel that there is, in my opinion, unless you find some crazy deal on MagnaCut or something else. Like, as far as budget steels are concerned, that's the best. Schnitzel, I've never heard of them. I added it to my Amazon list. I saw some knives of theirs, and we'll see if I can afford it sometime down the road. But it looks cool. Creeley Blades, all right, really awesome. That Gary from Creeley Blades, who's another Pennsylvanian, commented on this post. I really appreciate it. $100 is a particularly challenging point for American maker to achieve profitably with a knife of this size. In the case of LT Wright, they really do offer a lot of value in their product, although you're pretty much limited in the steel choice. And 1075 is pretty basic. Yeah, it is pretty basic. The wax wing piece is really well done, clean work, and in my opinion, about $100 too cheap. There's probably $25 worth of C-Tech in that knife alone. There's a lot of newer makers out there, or hobbyist makers, that just do fantastic work. They sell their knives at really competitive prices in those early years, and they are great value to customers. But in the case of LT Wright and Waxwing, they're almost always sold out of these knives because they're such an under market price. Great value. I can't disagree with a single thing that Gary said. He is absolutely 100% right. When I saw that this was $120 and the Aspen 2, which must be upstairs, I don't have it down here. Oh no, it's right here. So the Aspen 2 is just a slightly larger version of this Waxwing. And it's actually coated as well. And look at that, like, Mexican blanket work that he has on this. This was $135 or $130 at the show, and maybe he sells it for $140 on his website, a little bit bigger version of the Chiton. I was like, when I saw it, I was like, I'd never heard of this guy, and that knife looks like it's a $200 to $250 knife. And so, yes, take my money. Just take my money. In fact, when I went there, this was the only knife that I bought at that show because I was just so freaking impressed. So, he's a newer guy, a younger guy. His name's Trevor. Very nice. And I was just super, super impressed with this stuff. So that's why I've been hyping it up so much. And even though it's not under $100, if you can get a Chiton for $120, to me, the value is super there. And Gary is recognizing that in that comment. So thank you so much. JCKEY says, Joker knives. If those aren't the list is wrong. Slam fist on table. Okay, dude, you're like the fifth person to mention them. I'm sorry, man. I obviously need to check them out. Like, I will listen to you guys. LT Bush Baby 1075. I don't think they make it anymore. Haven't seen them in forever. Yeah, okay, you haven't seen them forever because maybe you're not a part of the Pot House, like about this last year. So they do models on the Pot House, and like I said, it costs $20 a month. You should check it out. Or $20 a year to be a member of the Pot House, and then they do crazy stuff. I just got a couple of red walls in recently that are really good, interesting knives, and yeah, it's screaming good deal. I'm gonna skip a couple here. Never heard Morocniv pronounced that way, but thanks for the vid. Well, that's because I'm pronouncing it right and you've been pronouncing it wrong, and that is the hill I'm gonna die on. But please, I can't wait to get the comments on this video. Please tell me that I'm pronouncing it wrong and leave a link to how I'm pronouncing it wrong, I guess, because I've seen people pronouncing this that are from that country, and that's how they're pronouncing it. I mean, so maybe not Morocniv, they're actually pronouncing it Morocniv. So it's a little bit more, of that accent, but I'm pretty darn close. How do you pronounce it? Like, why do you think I pronounce it funny? All right, getting off my high horse here. Grieve6475 says Asher Little Buddy S95 for $95, and CSCRK3V is under 100, fairly often under 90. Gotta have to check them out, dude. Never heard of them. Sounds awesome. I love S90V. If S90V was regularly under $100, it would obviously be the best budget steel in the world, but it's not. It's, in my opinion, it's one of my top 5 favorite knife steels, and I love it. So I'm gonna have to check that out. Oh, okay. I love this comment. Knives aren't made for batoning. That's why axes and hatchets are made. All right, and I'm going to read you my response that I put here because I think I said it. I think I said it pretty well. Of course, I love using the proper tools for the job just as much as you like making this comment on every single knife video that mentions batoning. But I still think it's valid to use a fixed blade for batoning small pieces or for when I'm too lazy to get a hatchet. And I stand by that comment. I might have been a little angry and drunk when I made that comment, but honestly, people, yeah, obviously knives aren't made for batoning, but they kind of are. I mean, there are several knives out there that I have, like the Genesis, which specifically in their design description talk about how it's great for processing wood. And this knife processes wood like a champ. And yes, the hatchet is more made for it, maybe, but like as far as chopping up kindling and stuff, I actually think this is safer to use with a stick for batoning than a hatchet, where you're using a hatchet and you're holding the wood with your hand, whereas you can balance the knife on the top of a piece of wood to make kindling, and you can hit the tip here, and if it's made out of a great steel like A2, it's going to cut it fine. So, that kind of comment chaps my ass. All right, moving on. I'm going to skip that comment. All right, this guy says Cold Harbor OP, names and pronunciation. Otherwise, a fantastic video. Okay, Grammar Police. I am highly dyslexic, so I do mispronounce stuff, and I understand that. When people make comments like that, are they just trying to be holier than thou? I don't really understand that. Thank you for the comment. But if you thought it was a fantastic video otherwise, why did you have to make that comment? Just to be whatever? I don't really get it. But in his defense, I kind of explained that to him. I kind of said I'm dyslexic and it gets in the way sometimes. My apologies, but you'll have to put up with me. I'm always trying to get better. And he said, put up with it. I will, and gladly, as I liked and subscribed. You've got great content and perspective, and I hope you took my comment how it was meant, appreciatively and constructively. So, no worries. I understand. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Some of these people, I'm not mentioning their names. You'll have to go back in the comments because I don't, if I'm calling someone out, I don't want to be a total D-bag. All right, we're almost there, people. Oh, okay, this is a great one. All right. I just said I wasn't going to call anyone out, but now I'm going to call someone out. An American Father. That's a great handle. who isn't an American father who lives in America, who is taking advice from a guy who starts a video out by saying, I keep this little knife by my fireplace to split firewood with. Such a joke. All right, poll time, people. Anyone still watching this video at this point? Do you keep a knife by your fireplace, and do you use it to chop wood? I'm very curious. And I said, thanks for the comment. Very insightful. Who would want a knife by their fireplace after all? And then someone else said, a knife is the best tool to split small kindling, most controlled and safest method. That was Martin Hard 8447. Thank you for backing me up. And then Jekyll 25 said, I've got 4 of the 8 knives, and I can't wait to see, and I can't see any lemons among the other 4. Overall, some solid choices. He made the odd mistake in the description of the knives, but he obviously used them, which is more than can be said for quite a few channels. Ultimately, you take others' advice, quote unquote, or don't. You've got to use the knives, nobody else. So, thank you again, Jekyll24. I don't think it's an unfortunate comment. I stand by what I said. I think it's I think using a knife for batoning, even big stuff. If you have a survival knife or a big knife like this Jarapuco, you know, this is a 140 Jarapuca. This is made for splitting wood, in my estimation, and you can do it safely. And instead of carrying a hatchet, if you're going light and you need a knife, you can carry this one knife. You can still make kindling. You can still make a fire, and you don't need a hatchet on you. So I don't understand this thing. I guess it's an unpopular opinion. I should do an unpopular opinion video, because I stand by it that you should be able to use a knife to baton wood, especially a Scandi grind. So there, I said it. Come at me. All right, people. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that video. I will talk to you guys next time. Please click like, subscribe, leave a comment, and if you want to help support make this content, follow the link down below. For $3 a month, you get a chance to win a knife of the month for Patreon. So see you guys next time on Sharp Ends. Bye-bye now.